Thank you for following me over to video 2. We're going to be discussing the St. Paul's Cathedral, the service of Thanksgiving for Invictus. We have a lot to cover. We're also going to be discussing towards the end Harry's lawsuit. Something interesting has happened. Let's jump in and cover it all, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start talking about Harry, who headed out to St. Paul's Cathedral for the, service of Thanksgiving for the Invictus Games. Now, when he came out, he was seen walking to the car and somebody said, "Hey, Prince Harry, are you happy to be back in the UK?" And he looked up and giggled. It was very odd behavior. Once again, you can see as the car pulled out, there were no crowds, there was no police, there was nobody, look at him, nobody really cared. Now, while this was going on, here was what you saw at St. Paul's Cathedral. Look where the press is in comparison to where the public is. You guys see the difference? The press is on one side of the barrier, the public is on the other side of the barrier. So then Harry shows up, the car pulls up, he hops out, and he goes running up the stairs. We hear a few screams, "Hello, Harry, hello, Harry." Couple of boos. One person yelled out, "Traitor." But Harry very briskly walked up the stairs to be greeted at the top, by the church official. They had a few pleasant words, and then they walked into the church. Now, somebody took some pictures with a long lens, and this is where things get really interesting. So here's Harry. He's smiling. He looks, I'm so happy to be here. He's right in his element. Guys, pictures say it all. He's trying to talk to these people. Look at the looks of the people that Harry is trying to talk and laugh with. Okay, here he's told some sort of a joke. Look at the looks on their faces here. Yeah, I don't think nobody's laughing. One person's giving him the side eye. Yeah. So anyway, he gets inside. Some of the articles say there were cheers, but now this is where, again, it gets interesting. Remember, Harry's biggest fear was being booed. And what happens when he gets there? You had several people that were cheering, but if anybody booed, then somebody blew a whistle to try to drown out the boos. If somebody yelled "traitor," then they blew the whistle. It was very obvious that the crowd had been padded with Sussex Squad members or possibly Rent-A-Crowd. I looked into that. That is actually a thing. So this would have been the first test for their new UK PR rep. Here's one person that they couldn't stop, and this will give you an idea of what was going on. I'd like to shake that girl's hand. All right, so some of the people must have already been inside because there was no pictures of the crowd showing up, just a few people showing up. For instance, Rishi Sunak's wife. Now, this next person didn't really surprise me. Princess Diana's younger brother, Charles Spencer, was seen walking in. Now, this is a man who could have offered Harry a place to stay, so he wasn't in the hotel, but he didn't. And also in the guests, by the way, were Lady Jane Fellows, who was one of Diana's sisters. Why they're at this thing, knowing what's going on with the royal family, I'm not exactly sure. But then again, it also could be that we know that there's a lot of problems between the Windsors and the Spencers, along with some other issues. I mean, people were talking about how when Earl Spencer's daughter, Lady Amelia Spencer, got married, Daddy was not at the wedding. He and his first wife, Victoria Aitken, got divorced, and then he was accused of having extramarital affairs and being a bully to his own wife. So that marriage didn't last very long, and there were all kinds of allegations going back and forth. Then you have second wife, Carolyn Feud. That marriage didn't last very long, and quite frankly, people were shocked at how quickly he married this second wife. Then after wife number 2, we have partner Colleen Sullivan. That's her on the right. Here he is with third wife, Carolyn Spencer. I mean, The man can't keep a wife, but also he's been accused of, trying to make money off Diana's death. We know what he did at his ancestral home. He's opened it up to visitors. He's charging money to come in. He built a temple in Diana's honor. The man has issues of his own. He's courted a lot of controversy, and he would go to the opening of an envelope. He's another one. Another person that was there at the Invictus Games, just as an FYI, was Mark Dyer, who supposedly is deemed as a, quote, second father because he was very close to William and Harry after the death of Princess Diana. And supposedly, allegedly, it's being reported that this man went because he felt that Harry needed more support than the royal family were prepared to give him. He knew Charles and William were going to boycott the service, so he decided he would be there to support Harry. Okay, so now we get inside, and some of the sugars got in there, and this is what they taped. This was online. Yep. Then they all had to stand up, right? So she stops taping. So you could see this person was right at the front in the second row behind the woman with the green shirt. So there you go. And this is what it looked like inside. I don't believe the entire church was full. I think they just put those chairs around that circular area in the middle, if that makes sense. And this is when Harry was reading a Bible passage. Here they are sitting a little closer. There's the lady in the green in the second row right up at the front there. You can see her. So the sugars are sitting right behind her. And they even put up pictures. So what does that tell you? Even the audience in the church, in my opinion, was padded with people that are fans of Harry. Otherwise, how else did these two get in there? One of the things that everybody seems to forget is that William and Catherine, with Harry and the Royal Foundation, set up Invictus. For some reason, Harry is trying to rewrite history and make it seem like Invictus was his idea. He actually stole it from the Warrior Games. And that he went back and he set it up and it's all his. And there's even a rumor going out that the Warrior Games are going to mesh in with Invictus, and that's not going to happen either. I don't know who's stupid enough to say all that. Now, we know that Harry and Meghan are heading off to Nigeria. We also know that this trip is literally a cover for the fact that the royal family snubbed Harry. And they snubbed Harry because they don't want to be in any more docuseries. One more bit of information I want to throw out there before we go back to this whole thing at St. Paul's Cathedral is that Harry's team, and it's definitely Harry's side because the king wouldn't do this, states, I asked King Charles for a meeting over a month before the UK trip so that he could work me into his schedule. Sorry, I think the king has decided he's had enough of the attacks. He's had enough of the repeating of private information. He's had enough of everything. He's had enough of Harry. Harry is now truly on the outside of the entire family. That's what it is. All right, now let's go back to the Invictus Games. Remember, Harry was very concerned he was going to be booed, and they're saying now that he was very grateful because he got such a fabulous reception from the crowd. Well, not all. So the service is over, and Harry is going to be coming out, and he's coming out a side door. Now, one thing I want to say, as usual, the entire Invictus Games and the entire thing, all anybody's talking about is Harry. His uncle was there, his sister was there, this person was there. Nobody's talking about the veterans. Nobody's talking about the games. Nobody's putting the attention where it belongs on the Invictus Games. But you can't really blame people because this is what Harry is doing. Okay, so the first thing, again, I want to point out is that look at the cameras where they are. These are the cameras separate from the public. Okay, they're on the other side of the line. Now, I'm pointing that out because I pointed out and people told me I was wrong, but here you go. They're filming for Netflix. That is the Netflix camera. It is on the other side of the barrier, so it's not allowed in with the royal reporters. They have to stand separate. Here is a picture taken. See that? With the public is where this person is standing. And that reminded me of this. Here's Harry and Meghan at the walk around. Look on the right there. Look up. Guy's holding up the Netflix camera, and right above Meghan's head right now, another Netflix camera. They were behind the barrier. So absolutely, he's taping for content again. Now, here's what happened next. He comes out the side door. I want you to watch the security guy in the gray, okay? Because they said this was an impromptu walk around. Look at the security guy. He walks straight to the crowd. Don't pass go, don't stop. And the reason he did that was because Harry had planted people there in the audience. If you listen to the video, which I can't play for you, all you hear is, Harry, Harry, we love you, Harry. Oh, Harry, shake my hand, Harry. We love you, Harry. Total plants. Not everybody in the crowd was a fan, let me just tell you, because somebody there held up a sign reminding Harry about the baka. Remember the African parks? Not everybody there was a fan, and I hope Harry saw that sign. Now, one other thing that you guys should know before we go today, his attorney, that's him in the black, was also brought into the Invictus, service. Why? Well, some stuff has come out about Harry's lawsuit against the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail is still being sued by Harry, and they have filed a trenchant defense of its journalism, saying that there was no phone hacking. They have denied under oath that journalists were commissioned or obtained information derived from phone tapping, bugging, computers, email hacking, burglary, any of that. They've pointed out that this case is basically based on a statement made by Gavin Burrows, which has now been retracted. I have to tell you, we know that Harry lost his bid for security. Harry already had to drop one case. He has to come up with like £900,000 for that case. And yet he's going to continue on with this case. And now the Daily Mail got permission to use things that Harry wrote in the Spare and in the Oprah show. His own statements are going to be used against him. Yep. If the Daily Mail is able to come out with proof that this was not phone hacking, Harry's going to owe even more money. Now, let me just say this about the whole Invictus thing. Harry was back in his element like a royal. And I'm hoping that since he walked around shaking hands and got the love and adoration that he's not getting anymore, this might remind him of everything that he's lost since he married Meghan. That could be the only good thing to come from it. My goodness, you guys. All right, you know what I want. Hit the like button to help me out with my algorithm. Hit the subscribe button and follow me over to video number 3. Let's go.